Look, it's very scary to come out, so I'm sure he's just coming out in chunks, you know? Like I said for a while that I was bisexual. We all know that was a lie, but it's scary. So I'm sure right now he's probably telling you that it's just all in his head and he's never done anything,
He
right?
said he's never done anything.
Yeah, well, that's a lie.
Is it?
Fuck yeah, it's a lie. I would bet my house eats to if then that, like, in 1 month, he's gonna be like, well, I did have this college roommate and we did have feelings for each other, but we never did anything. And then in like 2 months, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, I got my fucking ass pounded by our insurance adjuster last year.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Girls. We are just two boys watching HBO's Girls. We are your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And we got a heater of an episode for you guys today. Got a good one. It's called Daddy Issues. It is episode 41 overall. It's season 4, episode 9. Was directed by Jesse Peretz, written by Paul Sims. The original air date was March 15th, 2015, to an audience of 701,000 people, 0.701 million. And we're dealing with some fallout from the last episode.
Yeah.
Where Hannah's father comes out as gay, Marnie gets engaged, and Jessa's still pining after Ace for some reason.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Who did you say wrote this episode?
Paul Sims.
Okay. I really like the flow of this episode, I'll say.
Oh yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I just like it. It had some moments that were just like, it had cringeworthy moments. It had some like laugh out loud moments. It had some like interesting theme stuff. Yeah, some favorite moments in this episode for me, at least. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought that this one was, I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the banger that was the last episode.
Well, it's a good bridge
for me.
And I know we say this a lot, but it was a good bridge between whatever's going to happen in the finale and what was set up in the last episode. You know, it's like it was a good next step for things to happen. Good
yeah,
bridge.
it looks like some pieces are moving.
Yeah.
Things are happening. Yeah. All right. So speaking of things that are happening, should we get into it?
Sure, let's do it. Unless you want to preamble for another 5 or 10 minutes.
No, I just wanted to say thanks to our listeners in Indiana. You guys are killing it right now. And our listeners in Switzerland. You guys are also killing it right now.
The specific region shout out.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys know this. If you're listening to this and you are not privy to this information, we are the number 7 TV review podcast in India. So put some respect on our names,
I'm sure if you're like listening to this, whenever you're listening to this later, it will probably not be that.
Yeah, I know, probably. But as of the last time I checked, number 7, baby. That's a big deal. India's got 1 billion people in it,
And they're all listening to this podcast.
They're listening to Boys Watching Girls, man. Yeah, all right. So let's get into it. Shall we do character breakdowns again, or what should we do? You want to do chronological?
It's your call. How do you want to do this? What do you feel is the best approach, buddy?
I think if we're doing character breakdowns, we go Jessa first, Marnie second, Shoshanna third, Hannah last.
All right, I'm just following your lead here.
Following the lead. All right. Well, then let's go with the first character we see in this episode, and we're going to talk about Jessa first. So, open the episode. Jessa's fucking Ace.
Yep.
Getting it on with that guy. They're doing my favorite fucking thing in this show, which is talking for long extended periods of times while having sex. Which
I wrote this down as a Joe special to open episode.
which never happens in real life. I mean, sometimes happens, but not as frequently as it does in Girls.
Probably not conversations of the sort that they're having, where she's talking about her fourth grade teacher and he's commenting on the apartment.
Yeah,
quoting,
Jess is talking.
quoting Tiffany, the pop star.
Yeah, Jess is talking about how the only reason she wanted to fuck Ace is because he looked like a fourth grade teacher that I think she said that her mom wanted to bang or something.
Yeah, her mom. There was a fourth grade teacher that her mom wanted to bang, and then that she thought her mom should hook up with, and then she was like, "Oh, maybe it wasn't that I wanted my mom to hook up with him. I wanted to hook up with him."
Yeah,
like,
and then Ace is just kind of like, okay, and he's looking around. He's like, this apartment's so weird. It's like so weird to be in here.
Well, he's talking about Shoshana's
like
apartment, right?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got a weird layout. It doesn't make any sense.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
I did not. Dude, that apartment it's got to go. That apartment.
No, I love that it's just a morph. It just keeps morphing to whatever it needs to be. I love it.
So he's looking around, and as you said, he said it's like a Tiffany video. And Jess is like, oh yeah, is that getting you off? And he's like, I don't know, kinda. And then Jess is like, yeah, it's getting me off too, I guess. This whole conversation took place while they're having sex. Like, and it's like a 2-3 minute long conversation.
Oh yeah. And I forget the song that's playing in the background, but they have a song playing the whole time. Like, I don't know the name of the song that's playing in the background, and they're also quoting another song. It's so much.
Yeah, the song that's playing, I had the closed captions on. The song that was playing had some explicit lyrics. Pretty explicit lyrics going on. I don't remember exactly what they were. But I remember being like, that's a weird lyric. Sorry, don't have it. We're going down to number 8 in India right now, man. I need to get
Tiffany in the Tiffany pop song. I think we're alone now, and he like quotes that, and then right before they really start going at it, and it's just like, all right, like that's a weird. I think we're alone now. Reference to turn. It was weird. They comment on being turned on by that.
Yeah.
But
on the nudity report front, though, Jessa having sex with a bra on. Mm-hmm. See her butt though.
Yeah.
From through the girl's logo.
Oh, I think I was writing something down through that. I didn't look through the girl's logo.
Wow. Good thing I was here for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're obsessed with Jessa. You hate her because you love her. You hate her because you can't have her.
Yeah, she's like my fourth grade teacher or whatever. Oh, anyway, so then Ace and Jessa are going to a restaurant, and Ace is like, this is my friend's restaurant, and they're like running for some reason, like sprinting down the street. Jessa's like, stop, I've got heels on. Ace is like, oh, come on, we gotta go to my friend's restaurant. And she's like, what kind of food is it? He's like, Ethiopian. Then they turn a corner, he's like, huh, we're right by Mimi Rose's apartment. Should we go hang out and say hi? Pop in, say hi? And Jess is kind of like, I mean, all right, sure. That's a little weird, but yeah, I'm going to pretend that I'm okay with this.
Yeah. And did you know that this was going to happen as soon as they started running?
I did not. Did you?
Yeah, I was like, the only reason we have Jessa hooking up with, because I was thinking even before I started watching this episode, I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to have like a double date thing with Jessa, like Jessa and Ace with Mimi and Adam. Like, you have to put the four of them in a room together, you know? So I was like, oh.
So wait, before the reveal of that, you knew that this was going to happen?
Well, I knew that once he was mentioned in the last episode that he was going to be back, you know?
Well, yeah.
So I figured if he's going to come back, he's going to, even if they're not together, I didn't even care if they were actually dating, like, because she's still friends with Mimi Rose. And Mimi Rose is still friends with that guy. So they could have just all been having dinner together without them already hooking up. I didn't think that they would have been a couple when they went over there. I thought it would have been like, hey, I'm having Shoshanna over, or not Shoshanna, I'm having Jessa over, and I'm having Ace over, and they're gonna have sausages apparently. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that this was about to happen, but once it did, and when I saw what road it was going down, I was like, I hate Jessa, But in that tiny moment where she's like pretending to be okay with it, I felt a little bad for her.
I was really happy to see Jessa made to feel uncomfortable because we never get to see that happen. So that was interesting to see how someone doing what she normally does affects her, you know?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I did feel a little bad for her.
I mean, that's the point of you're supposed to feel bad, but like, it was just a nice turn, you know?
It took them 4 seasons, Vance. Took them nearly 5 seasons to get me to feel bad for this girl.
Did you not feel bad for her when she was with her dad? The dad issues?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Did you?
Okay. I mean, go back and listen to that episode. I think the fact that she abandoned someone afterwards and stole something from a store it was just too many other things involved.
Yeah, it was like...
Yeah, it was surrounded by a bunch of craziness, like her trying to get them killed driving down the street. Yeah.
Yeah, this episode was the most I've felt bad for Jessa ever.
Okay.
Just because of, like, I don't know, because of what happens next. So they go up to Mimi Rose and Adam's apartment, and Adam answers the door, and he has a look on his face. It's kind of like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Mm-hmm. And Ace is like, oh, I was just walking by, you know, we were going to a restaurant, and I thought I'd pop in and say hi, and I wanted to go check out the apartment. Mind if I come in? And he's like asking, is it okay if I come in? As he's like already stepping through the door, like that classic dickhead move.
Mm-hmm.
And Jess is like, are you okay? Is this bad time? And Adam's like, no, I mean, Mimi Rose is in the shower. And then Ace just like pops in, makes himself at home. He's like, let me show you this garden that I planted while I was living here.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam is in the background just looking like, God, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
With good reason.
Yeah.
He's a snake.
And it was interesting. He's like, oh, Mimi Rose is in the shower. And like less than 2 minutes later, she pops her on the corner, fully dressed. Dry hair, everything, you know?
Yeah. Definitely was not in the shower.
No.
So, I don't know. And as soon as Ace said, like, I need to show you this garden that I planted when I was living here,
mm-hmm.
I felt so awkward for Adam.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you feel for Adam the most, especially knowing what he knows. And then even when they have the exchange with Jessa, like, him and Jessa have this look of, like, why are we in this situation? You know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, Jessa, you needed to have a better plan because you already knew, because Adam told you that he loved Mimi Rose. So I'm surprised Jessa didn't have more of a way to win, you know?
Well, also, the thing is, like, Adam told Jessa that Ace said that he's trying to win Mimi Rose back. Yeah. So Jessa going into this, it's like, I don't know, there's not much you can do or say when Ace is like, hey, let's go to Mimi Rose's and just like pop in. Like, it's just...
What do you mean there's not much you can do? You can be like, no, dude, I'm starving. We just been banging. I want to go eat. What are you talking about? Do anything not to go up there.
All right, Vance, you're just better at lying than me. I don't know.
What do you mean lying? I'm better at just saying, no, I don't want to pop in on my friends for no reason.
I don't know, man. I don't want to. If I was in that situation, it would feel awkward for me, and I feel like I'd probably go along with it.
Oh my God. So you're saying you would feel more awkward saying, I don't want to see the person that you are in love with versus going in and having to deal with the awkward situation of seeing them?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've never been in that situation before, really.
But which one would you think would be more awkward? Saying no or going up there and dealing with what happened when they got to the apartment?
Yeah, I mean, I guess saying no would be... Yeah, saying no would definitely be less awkward.
Yeah. Now you got to deal with Adam and Mimi Rose. And you get to watch the person that you claim to love flirt with the other girl in front of their boyfriend. Like, what? No, that's a horrible plan.
Have you ever met any of your... So you're married. Have you ever met any of your wife's exes?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever met any... Like, anybody that I've dated, I've never met any of their exes, I don't think. So I don't really know what kind of situation this would be.
Well, you just have to like transport yourself into a scenario where you know that person has openly told the person that you're going to see that they are trying to win back their girlfriend.
Yeah.
You do whatever you can to not go up there.
Yeah.
You also know when he says to go up there that he already is using you. I knew she was being used like right there when he said to go up there.
Oh yeah.
You take your ex in front of someone. I'm sure you've probably done some move like that.
What, where I'm like showing off my current girlfriend to an ex-girlfriend or something? Yeah, I haven't done it on purpose, but it's happened.
Okay.
I wasn't like, I know that everybody's going to be in the same place and I'm going to show you I'm hot to trot now with this new lady. Like, but like, I'm a comedian. Like, I do shows and like sometimes girls that I've dated will just show up because like we're still chill or whatever. And then the girl that I'm currently dating will be like, oh, who's this? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So you do everything you can to avoid that situation.
Yeah.
Which is saying, I really love Ethiopian food and I can't wait to get there.
Yeah, all right. That's a good point.
And I just think Jessa's supposed to be more wily than she is. You know, like I feel like now all of her skill sets get dumbed down to zero just so that you get to the scene. You know what I mean? Like Jessa is the manipulator, like she says later. Like she should be able to be like, I'm going to finagle my way out of this. I'm going to make this situation less awkward or make Mimi Rose look terrible in front of him. You know, like she just kind of she just kind of clams up, which is not like her.
Well, would you think it's because she's in love with Ace or she wants to have his babies or whatever?
I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's convenience for the story.
Yeah. Yeah, so once Mimi Rose comes out of the quote-unquote shower, Jessa's feeling awkward, and she's like, well, we're just going to a restaurant. We'll get out of here. And then Adam's like, yeah, you all should get out of here. And then Mimi Rose is like, no, stay. Adam, would you like to cook up some sausages for our guests? And Adam's like, I guess so.
He's just like, I'll fry up some sausages. It's the funniest delivery of that line.
Yeah, because he's like pissed as shit.
Well, and she's just staring at that, like staring daggers through them. Like,
yeah,
her performance is haunting in this episode.
Dude, haunting. She is a psycho.
Yes, I wrote that down. Like, she is serial killer vibes.
Yeah, dude, something's wrong with her, dude. Like, there's something wrong with her. There's something wrong with, I don't know. It's so weird to hear like Ace being like, you're just a trap and you're a pawn in her game and everything. And to know like what a manipulative, crazy person she is. Mm-hmm. It's scary, dude. Yeah. Like she scared me. Yeah. Like it's evil.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Adam cooks up some sausages and they're all sitting at the dinner table eating sausages. And I don't quite know the order of events. So correct me if I'm wrong here.
Okay.
But actually, I don't know any of the events really.
So I know Mimi Rose mentions that she has never felt jealousy before.
Yeah, she's like, oh, so I'm feeling a little jealous of you and Ace right now.
Yeah, so this is what jealousy feels like, which is definitely sociopath tendencies. Like, you've lived this long and you've never felt jealousy at all.
Yeah.
Like, have no concept of it. And I forget, like...
Somehow Ace is like, oh, you're jealous? Why is that? Because I'm so happy with this and like I'm with Jessa or something. Mm-hmm. And
he's like, I want to have babies. And
she wants to have my babies. And this somehow it comes up. It's like, oh, so you two are together. And then Jessa's like, well, we're not really together. Like, it's not really that serious. And then Ace is like, well, she wants to have my babies or something. Mm-hmm. And then Mimi Rose is just like staring daggers and being like, huh, well, I don't like this predicament that I'm in and I'm feeling jealous. And Adam is like, oh, even before all that, they're eating the sausages and Adam's like, oh, I see everyone's finished, so let me clean all of your plates and everybody can leave.
Yeah. And it's just a platter of sausages. Like, it's not like he made a full meal. It's just a bunch of sausages grilled up. And just like, who knows how much they've eaten. I know that Jessa's mostly a vegetarian. Like, the whole situation is hilarious.
Yeah. So Adam actually is like at the sink cleaning off some plates while the Mimi Rose "I'm jealous of you" conversation. And this is where we get like a Mimi Rose and Ace stare down where they're like, it's like a quick chess match where Ace is like, well, do you know, like, if you want me back, all you have to do is say the word. And Jess is like, what the fuck? And Mimi Rose is like, well, I don't know. I'm feeling jealous. And Adam is like, she turns to Adam and she's like, Adam, do you want to sit in and have this conversation? And Adam's like, no, I don't want to have this conversation. I'm here with the woman I'm dating and the guy that told me that he's going to win you back. So no, I am feeling a little uncomfortable with this situation right now.
Yeah.
And then Mimi Rose is like, so I'm not the only one that has feelings of jealousy in this. And I was like, God, what?
Yeah. And then she goes, you know what? I think I want him back.
Yeah.
And Adam's like, what are you talking about? And Ace is like, don't. And he's like pointing his fork or knife at her. He's like, don't play. If you mean it, you say it, okay? You mean it?
Yeah.
And that's when Jessa just was like, all right, I'm done. I'm out of this.
Yeah, Jessa has an ether moment where she stands up and just fucking ethers everybody.
Well, before that, though, I love that Adam is like, no, you do not get to leave. Like, you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. She was trying to leave the apartment and she's like, I'm out of here. And Adam's like, no, you brought this in here. You're staying. Yep. Oh, man. So then Jessa ethers everybody. She says that, Mimi Rose is full of shit and Ace is full of shit and they should be together and make some horrible art about it. And she calls Adam a sucker and she calls herself a sucker for believing Ace and blah, blah, blah. And then Mimi Rose, somebody says something like, who do you pick? And Mimi Rose is like, I think I've made my decision. I choose no one. And then Adam goes, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So she doesn't want Ace. She doesn't want Adam. Doesn't want Jessa. She wants to be alone. Yeah. And then so Jess is like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Adam, you get the fuck out of here with me.
Yeah. He's like, you're a sucker. That's what you are, Adam. You're a sucker. And if you're even more of a sucker if you stay, right?
Yeah.
And she says that before, I think, that she actually makes her final decision. And then she grabs him by the hand and her and Adam walk out together while Ace is like, wait, I've changed my mind. Jessa, I'm ready to be with you now.
Oh, yeah. He's like, this roller coaster of emotion made me realize that I want to be with you. She slams the door on him.
And it's amazing because the shot of him in the, like, on the right side of the frame is just Mimi Rose staring off at nothing with just, like, this weird smirk on her face. Like, just like you can only see like kind of profile her face, but like she isn't like having any type of emotion to this situation. This was just like, all right, that happened.
Yeah, dude, she's a psycho.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
What a weird character to introduce for such a short period of time. Have them be this weird and just kind of salt to earth, burn it down.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, man. It was, and also I feel like the thing about Jessa is if anyone does even the slightest thing that doesn't like jive with her, she has those fucking ether cards in her back pocket for every single person. Mm-hmm. She is never like, what happened? Is like everything okay? She just goes scorched earth immediately. Yeah. I call those silver bullets. Mm-hmm. When you just have like, I have one insult about this person. that's just locked and loaded. If they ever, stab me in the back or something, that will ruin them to the core.
And I say only bad people have silver bullets.
All right. Okay.
like already planning on how to rip down people who are close to you that you've sidled up to, learn their weaknesses, and
hey, look, man,
I'm saying it.
Fucking Batman has a dossier on how to take down every member of the Justice League. All right,
yeah, because I'm
just fucking
League
Bruce Wayne over here, dude.
The Justice League has powers, not your friend who's a barista.
I'm fucking Bruce Wayne over here, bro.
All right.
Okay, so they leave the apartment. They start to go to where Ray is hosting an event for himself, and Adam is kind of like, Jessa, how come you didn't warn me? And Jessa's like, I didn't fucking know. I'm not your mommy or daddy. Like, I'm not supposed to fucking warn you about any of this shit. You're supposed to be a grown up and know for yourself. And he's like, okay. And then they get to the event, and Adam's like, I don't really want to go in there. And Jess is like, why are you scared? You're going to see Hannah. And he's like, I don't know. I just had a really fucking weird day today, and I think I'm out. Bye.
No,
and
he
then
says, she asks if you're afraid to see Hannah, and he says, no, I want to see her too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah. So that's why he doesn't want to go in, which is, again, just smart. Like, when people walk away from things in real life and in this show, like, I'm really happy. Like, that's a huge moment.
Yeah.
Because if he goes in there right now and he sees Hannah, he's just doing a rebound, straight up emotion from what just happened situation.
Yeah.
And he knows he's too vulnerable right now. And he's aware of it. And he's like, I want to see her. Like, this is what I want to do. And I don't need that clouding the logical thing. The heart and the brain meeting up at the same time. So, like, he's like, no, I'm out. And he just walks away.
Yeah.
And she just says, like, later or something.
Do you think that this is another moment, a step towards my prediction of Adam and Jessa hooking up?
If the walk and talk went a different way, maybe. When they walked out hand to hand, like her holding his hand and then them walking, if they weren't going to this event and he didn't say what he said about Hannah, I would say it. I would lean towards more of that. But, like, she's been such a jerk, and she set him up with Mimi Rose.
Yeah.
He ain't doing that. But once he finds out that Desi is with his girl Marnie, then we got my prediction.
Man. Oh, I think that was another moment where it's like, there's something going on between Adam and Jessa, and I don't like it. And they're having some kind of commiseration and bonding, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I still think it's going to happen, and I don't like it.
Yeah, if it happens, I'm not going to like it either. But we'll see.
Watch that be like the best relationship in this show after, if it does happen. We're like, we're both like, I don't want it to happen. This is going to be terrible. And then it does happen. And we're like,
I mean,
wow, they're perfect.
That's what we thought about Ray and Marnie. And then they got together and we're like, all right, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Speaking of Marnie, let's hop on over to that old lady face. Wait, no, we should probably do Shoshanna first. We can do both of them at the same time, Shoshanna and Marnie.
Okay, sure.
All right, this is a Shoshanna, Ray, Marnie, Desi joint, all right? So Ray is having I guess a rally or something for his political thing.
It's the post campaign after the votes have been called in. It's that what is it called? It's what you do when you have an election night thing. You have like all you have your party if you win, and then you give your concession speech if you loses. So it's at a bar, and it's a big turnout to this thing.
I know, for a fucking like tiny city council thing.
Yeah,
there's no way that many people would go.
It's probably half bar locals that just go to that bar and just are like, wait, what's happening here today? I don't care. Can I still get beer? And the cake is free. I'm sticking around.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. They're like, I didn't even vote for this guy, but I'll take his pizza and cake and all that shit. So Ray and Shoshanna are hosting this event for his political campaign. Marnie and Desi come for some reason. I guess because Marnie's close with Ray and she wants him to know like how proud she is of him.
I guess.
So Marnie and Desi come in, and their first thing that they do is they're like, "Hey, we should probably keep our engagement." Marnie says this. Marnie says to Desi, "We should probably keep our engagement a secret. I kind of would just like let it settle before we let everybody know. I just want to keep it on the DL." And Desi's like, "Totally, okay, that's totally fine." She literally turns around, walks over to Ray, and she's like, "This is so..." Well, hold on. First, she comes over to Ray singing, "Happy birthday, Mr. President." And then she goes, Marilyn Monroe. And Ray's like, "Yeah, I know. I get the reference."
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to sing to a person that you used to hook up with.
I feel like in a earlier episode, we randomly did a duet of that at some point for some reason.
You and I have?
Yes. It's definitely in the show notes of some episode that we've done. Yeah.
All right, then. If you know what episode that is, write in.
Yeah.
BoysWatchingGirlsPodcast@gmail.com. So she comes over to him singing that, and he's kind of like, "Okay, whatever." And then she is like, "I'm so proud of you. This is so awesome." He's like, "Yeah, thanks for coming." And she goes, "Well, I just want to let you know, I've got some news." And Ray's like, "Oh, yeah, what's that?" And she shows off her engagement ring. She's like, "Me and Desi are getting married." Not a good start to this whole let's keep it a secret thing.
Also, because this is on theme of people using relationships to make other people jealous,
Yeah.
That's what I was getting there. Because why else are you telling Ray? And like, she kind of has an excuse of like, "Hey, you mean a lot to me." And I really like his opinion about it kind of matters, which I could buy.
Yeah.
Also, but the thing about keeping it a secret, Shoshanna's going to notice that big ass ring on your finger.
That's what
Hannah's
I
going
was
to
thinking.
notice the big ass ring on your finger. That's the first thing when they were like, "Oh, let's keep this a secret." I was like, okay, she's not wearing the ring then. And then she shows this ring that's like the diamond's not massive, but the whole ring itself just is.
Yeah, dude, I as soon as she said, "Let's keep it a secret," and then Shoshanna starts talking to her, I was like, how did Shoshanna not notice the wedding ring?
Well, the hand was down and she has a cake, I think, or something. She's carrying stuff. Like, that's the only reason. But if there's a scene, if they're just hanging out talking, Shoshanna is going to notice that. Everyone's going to notice it.
Yeah, it's a terrible job of like, let's keep this a secret. So yeah, she says like, "Hey, we're engaged, and I wanted you're the first person I'm telling because I respect you and I respect your opinion. You really mean a lot to me, and I feel like we're really close." And Ray's just kind of looking at her like, "Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's great. I'm happy for you. That's good stuff. Good stuff." Great. So, flash forward a little bit. Ray wins. Mark Maron comes in and he's like, "No, I concede. Congratulations, you win. Is that free booze?" And he's like, "No." And then so Ray gets up on a chair, makes a speech that doubles as a love letter to Marnie, and he's saying it directly to Marnie. His speech is like, "I want everybody to know, like, this borough, everything is perfect, but if you ever need anything from me, I'll be there for you. If things start to get rough, I'll be there for you. If you ever need somebody to call, I'll be there for you." And he's saying this staring directly in Marnie's eyes. Marnie's staring directly at him. Desi's looking back and forth like, "Well, what's happening here?"
Yeah. At first, I love the way the speech started at the beginning because he would like scan the room. But then they really drive it home that he's saying it. And it also has this look because Shoshanna's on the right hand side of him and he's up on the table and she's a little shorter, so she's looking up and she has this like her jaw agape while she's watching him give the speech. And it has this weird beginning where you think maybe he's gonna say, "You know what? Fuck it. Shoshanna, me and you should get together." It has that.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
They do a good job of misleading that. And I'm happy that they didn't. try to like, because that would be it would be really bad when Shoshanna turned him down in front of everyone.
Right. So when he first got on the chair and he saw Marnie and he started his speech, I thought that he was going to be like, fuck it. He was either going to say like, Shoshanna, we should be together, or Marnie, you shouldn't be with Desi.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to go that route.
Yep.
It was going to go one of those two, and it went a completely different way. I will say, pretty good speech.
Yeah.
Pretty good, both rousing political speech and also I will always love you, Marnie speech.
I would say the rousing political speech, not as rousing, because it's like, I will be here if you ever need me. I'm like, you think these people are going to call you for personal issues? Like it got to the point where it was so far from political that it was like hard to like do that like fine balance, you know?
Yeah, he's like, if you guys ever need somebody to fight for you, I'll be here. If you need me and anything's going wrong in your life, I'll be here. If Desi starts being an asshole, I'll be here. I mean,
there's a great example, and there's a great example of something like this done perfectly in an episode of Frasier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where Niles is just he stood up the woman he was supposed to marry to be with Daphne, who he's been in love with for the whole series, but he has to continue pretending to be married to the woman that he had gotten married with before he left, just so that because she wants to like pretend so that they can like have a natural divorce and split, so it doesn't look like she was just jilted on her honeymoon like she was, and she is so jealous, and obviously so, like she tries to make Frasier give a speech at their like wedding rehearsal since they eloped in Vegas. And instead of Frasier, like he didn't know he was going to have to do it. It was her trying to punish him. So he gives a speech, but he doesn't use the name of the girl that Niles is with, the woman that Niles is with. Instead, he's like, when you find the person that you're supposed to be with, it's weird and however it happened. But to the two lovers, you know, like he says it where you could read it as like he's talking about those two, but he's really talking about Daphne and Niles. And it was like played really well. They just didn't do that nuance here. Here it's just so pointed and direct. It's like, you, Marnie, if you need me, if relationship goes bad, call me. You might as well have just done that. But it still is effective until the next moment.
Yeah, the next moment. So Ray gave that speech. I do agree. It was a lot better when he was panning around, and then when he just like hones in on her for like the last, like fucking minute, 2 minutes of the speech.
Like, we get it, guys. It's fine.
Yeah,
like, we can get it. Yeah.
So he steps down. Next scene, he's sitting at the bar with Hannah, and they're kind of like moping. He's happy that he won. Marnie gets up on a stage. And she's like, "Hi, everybody. I just wanted to make an announcement. It's me, Marnie. No one knows who the fuck this lady is. Who she just hijacks this event,
right? It's like she's giving this thing. She's saying what she's. You go on. I got just wound up.
She goes on, and she's like, I just wanted to make a special announcement. Me and Desi are getting married. We're engaged." And then like smattering of applause in the bar, and Ray's like, "Great, this is fun. I feel really great for you." And Hannah's like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome." And Ray's like, "I'm faking it," and and Hannah's like, "I'm faking it too," because Hannah's gone through some shit that we'll talk about in a second.
But can I have to say,
please,
it was a great moment when Hannah's like, because Marnie gets up there and she's like, "I'm sorry to take this moment," and Hannah's like, "Oh yeah, she's not sorry at all." And Ray's like nodding, like, "Yeah, I know." But she gets up to announce to a room full of strangers that her and another stranger got engaged. There is
none of these people at the bar know them.
Only people there, and I guess at this point, Shoshanna or Jessa might have walked in. We don't actually see her in the room, but it's Ray who she told, Hannah and Shoshanna. That is it. In this room full of people, those are the only people who know Desi and her. Why are you making a announcement? You could just go over and tell them.
Yeah, this isn't like it's Marnie's birthday party or something, and she's like, "All right, it's not only my birthday. I got an announcement to make."
Yeah,
This is Ray Polshansky winning the city council District 8 fucking celebration. Gets up on stage, says, "Hey, I'm Marnie. Me and Desi are getting married." It's like, nobody knows who you are. Nobody even further knows who Desi is. Like, why are you hijacking this? Like, what a fucking asshole.
And then to come in and be like, hey, maybe we don't tell everyone. Oh, but instead, let's just blurt it out to a bunch of strangers.
So what do you think the motive is there?
Just center of attention.
Do you think it's because
Her daddy
Ray
abandoned her.
gave that speech?
What?
Do you think it was as like I guess a rebuttal to Ray's speech because she knew what Ray was doing, and then she's like, "No, dude, I'm getting engaged."
That is the weirdness of that moment, because we see Ray. We see a close-up of Marnie when Ray's talking to her, like a real close-up where you can see emotion and it actually sinking in on her.
Yeah.
But then later she does this announcement, which will only double down to hurt Ray.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, when she makes her announcement, she's not looking directly at Ray to be like, "No, dude, it's over."
Yeah.
It's like she's doing what Ray should have done, panning around the bar.
But yeah, I just don't know why, like, besides selfish reasons of just wanting to announce it and have people come up and be like, "Oh my God, congratulations." I don't get why she did it at all.
Yeah, and it completely, if Ray is someone that you respect and whose opinion you care about, why would you ruin his moment?
Yeah.
With your, like, what a fucking asshole.
Even if it wasn't like, oh, me and Ray slept together and he still might have feelings for me. It's his night. He just won a campaign, you know? And it's also, which we haven't talked about, it's also Shoshanna's night. Because Shoshanna might have actually found her calling as a campaign manager, you know?
Yeah, or like a party planner or something.
Yeah, like that is what she's great at. Like, and she has the like social, like that, like lack of social graces that could work for politics of just being so cutthroat. Like, if she's paired with a candidate that is trying to do the right thing, she would market them in any way possible. So it would be great if she was teamed with someone that was honest and true, because I could see her being like a Kellyanne Conway type person, and just like, you know, like that's what she could. I mean, I could completely see her doing that. You know,
it'd be hilarious is if, you know, so Ray like advances in his political career with Shoshanna. I don't think this is going to happen.
Yeah,
but it'd be funny if it did. Is Ray advances with Shoshanna as his campaign manager. Shoshanna eventually, like, they have some kind of falling out, and she's like, "You wouldn't be anywhere without me." And then she runs against Ray for something, and then
I don't know how
hijinks.
I don't know how funny that would be. I don't want to watch Ray and Shoshanna dueling politics.
Dude, we're watching fucking Ace and Jessa. What else are we doing?
No. Then the show doubles down on its politics. No.
Yeah. So I just thought that was a huge fucking asshole move by Marnie.
Really?
At Ray and at Desi.
I'm curious to see. I was curious to see Desi's reaction.
Yeah, Desi's kind of like, I think he's standing next to her, next to the stage, and he kind of like, yeah, we're doing it.
He's a prop in this scene. He's a prop in this whole episode.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. He is a pawn in that game going on.
Prop, yeah.
And I hope fucking that he is, because that guy stinks.
Yes, he sucks.
That guy sucks ass, dude.
So they should stay together. They should stay together.
They
should stay together.
He's a fucking asshole, dude. I hate that guy. When he first came on, I was like, oh, this guy's all right, you know. And then the more that he's been on this show, the more I've grown to loathe this.
Well, they
man.
have to make him loathsome, just for the fact of them breaking up and stuff. Even Marnie has admitted that he's an asshole. To the group.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, last episode when he bought that guitar pedal and he was like, "Can't believe you're such a fucking bitch about it." I was like, Marnie, write this guy off. This guy's done.
No.
And then 2 scenes later, they're engaged. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
no, Marnie's like, this is exactly what I want. This abusive, emotionally troubling relationship based off of.
I mean, not only is Marnie an asshole, she's just like making dumb decisions, like just stupid. She's just dumb.
You know what I would say? I would like a little more. If we could have dove a little more into Marnie's decision making here, like just like her reasoning of saying yes, and like instead of having the multiple scenes with Hannah, which I get they were there, but if we trim one of those out and squeeze in another, I would have liked to see Marnie tell Shoshanna and Hannah that she's getting engaged, see their reaction, and then see how she defended her reaction. You know, like how you present, like I think you mentioned last episode, she's gonna be like, oh my God, you married this guy, and why is it, you know, like you tried to say like how that was back and forth what happened. Because I wanted to see that. I didn't want to see an announcement and then an end quip. Because I still don't get Marnie's thought process here.
I feel like that fallout's gonna happen next episode.
Yeah,
like you're gonna see like Shoshana, Hannah react to it, and I mean, you could also see Jessa react to it, but I don't think Jessa's really going to react at all because she's like, yeah, oh, okay, cool. You're getting married. I don't care.
Jessa takes one. Jessa takes one for the team. Wild prediction for the next episode. Jessa takes one for the team and sleeps with Desi.
Oh, to prove that he's a dog.
just because it's the only way Marnie will break out with him. I'm just throwing it out there, just off the cuff.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
all
that's my wild prediction.
And your headliner, Hannah Horvath. So, Hannah starts off this episode eating with her dad, who, they're still dealing with the revelation that the dad is a gay man. He's decided to come out now, and he's trying to make small talk with Hannah, and Hannah's like, no, fucking, what's up with this? Like, how's mom? And he's like, she's an emotional mess, basically. Like it's like I didn't know a person could have so many emotions, but she's doing well, I guess, you know. And then Hannah's like, so what's gonna happen? Like, well, I should be happy because all of my other friends, their parents have been divorced for years, and like you guys have stayed together for longer than all of them. So I guess I'm lucky in the fact that you guys are gonna get divorced now. And the dad's like, we might not get divorced though.
Yeah. You know what's interesting here? Like that, I mean, that is the key point of the scene of him saying, oh, we might not get divorced. We might stay together. There's other couples. And she calls him out saying, hey, you did this, finally decided to come out, and you're going to stay married to a woman, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It took you all these years of courage to finally come out as gay, and you were gonna stay married to mom.
Yeah.
And he's like, it works sometimes. It can happen.
Any reference?
I saw a documentary about a gay guy that stayed married to a woman, and they had an arrangement. And Hannah's like, yeah, that gay guy ended up murdering his wife.
The documentary she references is The Staircase. I haven't watched it, but I know it's on Netflix. There's two things. There's one, Hannah is taking it really differently in the beginning, where she's like, well, it's not really about me. And then the dad is like, it is about you. And that's like a carryover from the last episode where the mom is like, it is about me.
He said, it's not about me.
Yeah. And now Hannah's like, no, it's not about me. It's about you and mom. Like, I feel bad for mom. I'm okay with you, Yeah. So it was like really measured response by Hannah.
Yeah. And then then she breaks out the fact about the documentary where the guy kills his wife, and then dad's like, yeah, but okay, I mean, it works for some people, like it can work. And Hannah's like, it never will work. And the dad's like, what do you fucking know? You're a child, basically. And Hannah's like, I have more experience with this than you. I've had sex with a gay guy. And we're still trying to navigate the choppy waters of all of that. And the dad's like, whatever. You don't know shit about shit. You're a child, basically. And she's like, I am a full-grown adult. And then the dad goes, you're such a child, I bet you didn't even bring your wallet to this And she's like, I fucking brought my wallet. And he goes, show me. And then she's like, I don't need to show you. And he goes, if you're an adult, show me your wallet. And Hannah's like, I came right from the gym. And then the dad laughs in her face.
I'm happy you heard that line or read it. Because I didn't hear what she said there, but that's great.
I came right from the gym.
That's great.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. It was some good little lines in this. And that's not even one I heard. So yeah.
Yeah. I thought that scene was pretty good. The dad's in over his head. I don't know if his arrangement would work, but who knows? I mean, there's all kinds of crazy arrangements.
I don't think that arrangement works for the mom.
Yeah, the mom would not be down with that arrangement, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of saying, like, I'm sure she has feelings, they have like a relationship, but
it's interesting though, because I know, and I have dated a few women that were still technically married they were separated, but they were still technically married for like purposes. Like it just, divorce is hard as fuck, and you have to hire a bunch of lawyers, and there's a bunch of stuff involved with it. So some people they're like, we're separated. Technically, we're still married, but like, it's just easier this way. Mm-hmm. So maybe that could be the thing.
Yeah, but they're separated. They're not still like living together and like doing a married life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is the dad living in New York now? Because the mom's still in Michigan, or is he just visiting?
Never clarified.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next time we see Hannah, she's at school, and she's trying to get the attention of her close confidant and young Padawan, Cleo, who we saw last episode get under the tongue piercing that she was supposed to get with Hannah, and then Hannah did not get that piercing.
Seems it healed up well, and also a follow-up, it was not real. It was a prosthetic. So it was.
How did you know? Did you look it up?
Did a little internet research real quick.
Did a little research? All right,
quick Google. Just a quick one. I didn't dive too deep because we're not a fact-checking program.
All right, Detective Tucker over here, Super Sleuth Vance.
But she's talking just fine. That is not affecting her speech.
So Hannah's like, Cleo, where have you been? I've texted you all weekend. I had some crazy shit go on. And Cleo's like, my phone died. And Hannah's like, your phone very much did not die, because I saw your Instagram story. You were at a park with Jake and you had a flower crown and blah, blah, blah. And then Cleo's like, so what? Like, all right, sorry, I didn't reply to your text about your dad being gay. So what? My friend Tom has like 4 dads. People have gay parents. Who cares? Stop talking to me. And then Hannah's like, I knew you saw my text messages. And then Cleo basically is like, you're being real fucking crazy.
He calls her like homophobic, and she's like, I'm not homophobic. I've had sex with a gay guy. And then she's like, well, what's the big deal? And she's like, I'm going through something, and I just needed to talk to a person. And this is happening in the hallway.
Yeah,
and then my favorite
everyone
moment in the episode, Fran comes around the corner and just sees the two of them in this like heated argument, and the face he makes is just like, oh boy, and just walks off. It just like validated everything he thought about her.
Yep.
And he just like, yep, and just kept moving. And I loved it.
The drama that he knew she would bring.
It's so good.
She's yelling at a teenager who is her student about why didn't she answer her texts. Yeah, dude.
That look and keep moving. I loved it. It was just great.
Yeah. So while Hannah's screaming about how she had sex with a gay guy and how she's not a homophobe, and she's just like going through some shit, the principal of the school walks by and he's like, Hannah, could you please come to my office? Please. And then so he walks away, and Hannah just says something says one last little dig at Cleo, being like, I thought that you were a friend. Yeah. So she goes to the principal's office. The principal gives her a speech about how like look, the kids really like you. You're a great sub. You got them excited about learning, but you need to stop this bullshit with like being friends with them. You need to set boundaries.
Yeah.
You need to be professional. You need to not be friends with your students.
Mm-hmm.
And Hannah's like, well, this is just like a really rough time for me because my father came out as a proud gay man at 50. And she says that like that's a trump card that he's going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, go on, keep going with all of your unprofessional behavior.
Yeah.
But instead he goes, see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to know that. I don't need to know that. Keep that inside. You need to keep some of this stuff on the inside. And she's like, well, it's really hard for me because it's hard to keep things on the inside as my dad is coming out. You know what I mean? And
it's great because it's like he's like boundaries. He's like, I don't want to hear this because I'm your boss. I don't want to know anything about your personal life. Like,
yeah.
and he doubles down on what the dad says about like, you're not a kid. Like you don't need to be talking to this person about this stuff.
Yeah.
And then she asks, are you going to fire me? And he's like, no, just take the rest of the day off and handle whatever the issue is. And
so now there needs to be a sub for the sub.
Yeah. But then she says, but then it cuts to like this wide shot, and then she's just like sitting there for a minute, and she's like, nice pants. And he's just like, boundaries.
Yeah.
Like she just can't help herself. She just can't help.
Doesn't get it.
And this is what we were worried about with her in school. That's the only thing I was worried about. She's good with the student. She cares about learning. She can be personable. But yeah, just like that crossing the line and stalking a teen girls in social media and sending. Imagine being that kid's parent and finding out that she got 1 million texts from a teacher talking about her dad being gay. Like, you'd be like, what is going on at that school? Like, oh, this is the girl that went to and pierced the bottom of your tongue? Sure. Okay. Yeah. And she's a sub?
Yeah.
She's a sub? Like, that's questionable as hell.
She should have gotten fired.
Yeah.
No, I thought like
if it was, I would say if it was, granted, one student is one too many, but if it was like more than one student, absolutely. If this was like 2 people.
Well, I thought it was going to be that she's being weird with Cleo and that she had also made shit weird for Fran.
Mm.
I thought that the principal might have brought that up, but luckily Fran is a gentleman never kiss and tell type of guy.
They never kissed. They never did anything.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Fran kept it moving, man. Fran just keep it moving.
She did like call him out in the hallway as well in the last episode where she's like, I'm a hot, sexy bitch and you want this.
But principal wasn't around, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I did like that. I did enjoy what you brought up, the speech that the principal gave her where he's like, it's fun to be around kids, but you're not a kid anymore. I was like, damn, that's a dope.
Well, I mean, there's a mini theme of that running through it is growing up and boundaries. Like boundaries and not being a kid and using your relationship to make the other person jealous is like the running themes to this somehow. Yeah.
So what Hannah does with her now day off is she goes to the bar with Elijah to drink some. And Elijah takes a glorious moment to gloat in Hannah's face about how he knew that her dad was gay. He's like, I called it. I told you so. And Hannah's like, you didn't tell me so. He's like, I specifically. And in this moment when she was like, you didn't tell me, I was like, I got the fucking receipts, girl. He did tell you so. I will go back to season 1, bitch.
If it was meta.
He told you.
If it was meta, it'd be like, in season 1, episode 3, or whatever it is.
Yeah, if this was like Deadpool Girls or something.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, but you think everybody's gay. You said Barack Obama was gay. And he's like, he does read bi. So that was a nice little funny moment.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, he did call Charlie gay at one point too. Like he has been throwing, we mentioned that, he has been throwing this person is gay around a lot. But the bi thing was really interesting because he was like, yeah, and then I claimed I was bi, but obviously I'm not. I was just lying to myself, and but I'm gay. And I was like, wait, what? Like, because that's always a big issue when people come out as bi, is that no one believes that they're bi. They believe that they're like I don't know exactly how it works. If, like just being straight, like I don't know gay, bi, like fluid sexuality. Like if you say that you're bi to someone, they're just like, bullshit. Like,
yeah, I don't know why that's a thing. Like people just do not believe. Like if you're like you're bi, it's like no, you're just gay.
Yeah,
or you're a lesbian or whatever, or you're straight and you could. I don't know. People just have such an issue with bi.
Yeah, and that's why I thought when he just throws away like bi is like not really being a thing. It felt dismissive. Like that's what I was. Yeah. I was like, oh, and I pretended I was bi, but really I'm gay. Like so. Yeah.
Well, that started as like a larger conversation where Hannah's like, I just can't believe that my dad's gay, and he just came out like now, and he's like, well, it's a process and it's a confusing time. Mm-hmm. So and he was like, yeah, I mean, I thought that I was bi because like I was hooking up with girls, but like I'm a gay guy. And I see that now. And he's like, so your dad's probably just going through some shit. Like he doesn't really know. It's a confusing time. So they get into a conversation about like the dad. I forget how Hannah says, she's like, I just don't want to think about my dad with other guys. And then Elijah goes on like a list of predictions of like, look, your dad's probably going to say, he's like, no, I've never been with a guy. And then a month from now, he's going to be like, well, there was a guy in college that I experimented with, but like it was just an experimental phase and like we never did anything. And then 2 months from now, he's going to say like he got ass rammed by his accountant.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's just going to happen. Like it's a gradual thing and you're going to find out a lot about what your dad's been doing. And Hannah's like, oh, I don't want to know.
Yeah. Which is, I get it. Like Arrested Development has a great running joke about like Job never wanting to think about his parents having sex, and like I get her not wanting to think about her dad having sex, even with the mom, and definitely not with like just random dudes he's meeting. But it is weird that she's helped him naked after falling out of a tub having sex with his mom. So it doesn't seem like it's really something that would really bother her that much.
I think in like an emergency situation like that,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
I just felt like there would spend lines and statements and her talking openly about her sexual stuff in front of her parents. I don't have a specific moment, but I feel like she's been like completely open. Like they have to read her books.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry if you can't handle your dad talking about, hey, I might be going out with this guy, but you wrote in books about jerking off like a Puerto Rican guy kidney stone and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry.
Yeah, and they have to be like, we're so proud. Look at our daughter, the creative.
And they kind of later bring that up where she flips the boundaries around, the whole boundary statement around. But yeah.
So she gets on the horn with her mom, and she's talking to the mom and being like, the mom is just like, I don't know what. It's a whole conversation of both of them being like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. The mom is like, why would you ever listen to life advice from me? I didn't even know that your father was gay. I don't know shit. And Hannah's like, I didn't ask you for advice.
Which is great.
Yeah. And the mom is like, I mean, I just don't know. Like, you the whole dad sucking dick thing. Where is he right now? Is he on Christopher Street? And Hannah's like, that's not even where the gay people hang out anymore. This is where I felt for the mom. You know, the mom is going through it, dude, and with good reason. It's like, it's a shock. And it's a shock for Hannah. It's a shock for everybody. And then Hannah eventually is just like, well, Mom, you're making me uncomfortable, so I'm going to go. And then the mom goes, anal sex.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable. Think about that. And then Hannah's like, all right, goodbye.
I was thinking when this happened last episode, I was thinking if we might see the sisters come back. just to like rip on him, you know?
You mean Lorraine's sisters?
Yeah. Hannah's
because they
aunts.
did rip on that episode Flow. They did rip on him so hard.
Yeah, and now like, I think finding this out, they would just destroy.
Well, I feel like they knew too because they called him out for. I think he was a gymnast or something, or a male cheerleader.
I forget what they called him out for, but like kind of being a wimp or something. I don't know. It was something. I can't remember the specifics of what they called him out on.
I'm pretty sure it was something about how he was a male cheerleader or a gymnast. And then Hannah's mom said something about like, yeah, but he had a great body. Something like that. But I feel like the sisters probably had a little inkling that like, if Lorraine tells them, they're going to be like, yeah, I mean, that's not a surprise.
Even if they had no inkling, if she tells them, they'll just be like, oh, yeah. Like,
yeah. Oh, I could see it.
Yeah. They'll be like, oh, there was this one time when he ordered flan instead of kitty cat. We're like, you know, like when you retroactively like take every moment, make it like,
yeah, when just everything starts to make sense to you, and you're like, oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, he did have a PC instead of a Mac, of course. It's like what?
Yeah, like is that a thing? How? Like,
I love moments like that. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And they're so stupid. People are just like, oh, yeah, of course. That all makes sense.
It's just kind of how the human brain works. We just got to, we find patterns when they don't exist to try to make sense of things, you know?
Yeah. So after that phone call, Hannah's sitting alone at home, just chilling. And then Elijah and her dad burst into the door. Oh, previously on the phone, the mom said something about how like, Janet says that your dad, now that he's gay, is going to be a daddy. You see your father as a daddy. What does that even mean? Like, what's a daddy? You see your father as a daddy? And Hannah's like, stop.
Yeah.
I think that's the impetus that makes her hang, the straw that broke the camel's back. And she's like, I'm hanging up now. You're making me uncomfortable. Yeah. So Elijah comes in with the dad, and they went, looks like they did like a little makeover or something, went shopping.
Yeah. He's got the Modern Family cam cufflinks where he folds the shirt up and has the colorful like cufflink kind of thing.
Yeah, and Elijah makes mentions like, doesn't he look like such a good daddy now? And Hannah's like, gets the chills like, oh no. When they came in, I thought that Elijah had hooked up with her dad.
I just couldn't help but think back to the Iowa scene where he's jerking a guy off in the bathroom. The kid that wasn't quite gay yet, like, or didn't admit that he was gay yet, and he's like hooking up with him in the bathroom. And I'm like, is Elijah just being like, all right, let's get this one out of the way with their dad?
Well, like, the reason why I thought that is because like the dad pulls the front of his pants up at the beginning. And I was like, wait, what just happened?
And at first I thought he was going to come in with like some guy. I thought it was going to be like maybe Elijah, the dad, and like another person that they met when they went out or something. I wasn't sure. It was a lot of noise outside the door before they entered. So
yeah. So they sit down. Hannah's like, please do not call my daddy. I hate this thought. She's like, I don't mind that my dad's gay. I'm not homophobic, but like this is just a lot to take in. And then the dad's like, well, I just, I still love you, blah, blah, blah. If you ever need anything from me, I'm here for you still. And then Hannah's like, I just need some information. Have you ever been with a man? The dad goes, no. Elijah goes, Tad. The dad goes, okay. It was a guy in my senior year. We just did like some dry humping. It wasn't anything, but it was dry humping. And I was like, man, Elijah, maybe Barack Obama is bi. Who knows?
I would say Elijah's not. Like, Elijah called one thing and it worked. That's all we know.
Yeah.
Right? But of course, the dad's going to talk to Hannah's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend who's gay. Like, this is the only gay person he probably has to openly talk about stuff with,
Yeah, because as Elijah references earlier in the episode, think about the gays in Michigan. They're probably awful. lots of cargo shorts.
He's a regionist gay. Like he only
Yeah.
like, and he went to Iowa and was thriving. Like that's what
Yeah.
undercuts like that whole like being gay in a different place. Like he was granted he was at a college, but he was in Iowa. Like
who knows, man. Yeah, then the dad's basically, I don't know. He talks about like how he hooked up with the guy, the dry humping, and then Hannah stands up and she's like, all right, that's enough. That's all I need to know. I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know about my father having sex. I don't want to know about my dad having sex with men. Not because I'm homophobic, but just because I don't want to think about my dad having sex with anyone. Even mom, I don't want to think about that. And then she puts her hands together and does the exact same motion as the principal. And she goes, boundaries.
And this is a thing the episode has. Like Jessa's getting a taste of her own medicine. Hannah's getting a taste of her own medicine of like that, of this is what happens when everyone just says everything.
Just oversharing galore.
But there's also like that Elijah mentions that they were able to find the guy that he dry humped on Facebook.
Oh yeah, on Facebook.
He's like, hey, maybe we'll reconnect. And that's what really drives her to like be like, okay, now we're getting into my dad's on Tinder and I don't need to.
Yeah, my dad's on Grindr sucking all kinds of
Grindr's around, Can we get a little I don't know, maybe 3 listeners will want this, your fashion corner on the Elijah and Elijah's makeover of Tad?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Elijah looked really sharp. He had a embroidered sport coat that looked like it kind of was like velvety and was like navy blue. I thought Elijah looked real sharp. Like that sport coat is dope.
Haircut was fresh too. I would say Elijah looks really good for someone that's like free to have beers midday.
Yeah, right? What does he do?
I don't know. I love it though. Like his outfit looks like it costs money too.
Yeah. As for the dad, I mean, he looked like a regular dad, and the only bit of flair were the cufflinks.
But
like, is
he wearing white pants though too?
It looked like kind of khaki, like light khaki to me. But if they're white, it wasn't that good. But like light khaki, and it looked like he had a green shirt, and it just looked like a regular, like shirt that you'd see at fucking Marshalls or TJ Maxx that you'd pick up.
I expected more of an extreme makeover from what he normally like. I guess he always wears polo shirts and stuff, so I guess it is a little bit of a little bump up. But it wasn't like, oh my god, this makeover is drastically different. Like it's different, but it wasn't distractingly so.
I mean, I think the worst fashion corner offender this episode is Ray, to be honest. Like his suit looks like straight out of 1970s.
That's how you appeal to all the old city voters,
I guess, man. I mean, he looks like
he does look like he's 50. He does look like he's 50 and not like mid 30s.
Yeah. The way that scene is lit too, and like all the old people around him, it looks like a period piece from like the 60s and 70s. Yeah. Like that suit is rough, man. Like you got it from a thrift store or something. Like up your suit game, Ray. Yeah. You gotta look more presidential.
Well, he looks like Mark Maron's character when he comes in.
Yeah. Exactly. Like he looks like Mark Maron's character, like in what's that fucking movie that Mark Maron's in? It's in like the 70s. Oh, he looks like Mark Maron's character in Joker. He looks like a character in Joker.
Yeah, he looks like an off-work salesman that's going to the bar for happy hour.
Yeah. So Ray's got to up his suit game. Elijah looks real sharp. The dad looks all right to me. I mean,
all right, yeah. I just wanted to
I don't know, man. I don't really get those shirts with the different cufflinks.
Papa, it's like it's within it. So when you roll it up, it has like this floral pattern.
No, I understand how it works, but I don't think it's very stylish. I don't think it's a good look.
I think it works for if that's your thing. Like, because Modern Family, the character on that show always has that shirt on, and it's like it's his look. Like you see him in it, and you don't even think twice anymore. Like if you're watching that show.
The dad's got a very Cam look after the makeover, but I don't.
Is that TV's idea of a gay middle-aged man. Is that? I was like, hey, once you flip that cufflink over, we know. Like,
yeah, I mean, I know some pretty like middle-aged gay men, and they don't wear shirts like that.
Yeah, not every
none that I know.
But it's just interesting that 2 shows that like have that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because at this point, I mean, I guess there's open. I forget what year this came out, but I'm trying to think like what other shows.
2015.
This
episode's
Modern Family's already on the air, right? At this point?
Yeah, Modern Family's definitely on the air by then.
Yeah, so
because Modern Family just ended and it was on for like 12 years.
Yeah, so it was definitely an overlap of that. So
Yeah, they gave him a cam makeover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but it's not horrendous.
No,
there's definitely been way worse outfits on this show.
Hey, if he's got some money, he's gonna be a daddy.
Yeah, I guess so. And that is the episode.
Well, the next scene is her she goes to race thing.
Yeah, and then they said they're faking their happiness.
But I will say there's a scene that we didn't touch upon that really makes me bond with Shoshanna in such a strong way. Is when she walks into that the campaign party, rally, whatever. Shoshanna walks over with cake. The cake.
Oh, right.
Cake looks great.
Right.
The Ray cake with his face on is so funny looking. But the actual cake itself, like that sheet cake, kind of love that stuff. But she comes in, and Hannah's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't really want to eat Ray's face or whatever." And then she just touches a piece of cake and like kind of eats like a little nibble and some icing. And Shoshanna's just like, "But you can't just touch a piece and just leave it here. Like, what are you doing?" And I was like, yes.
Yeah, yes. That was a perfect moment.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? You just ruined a whole piece of cake right there.
Yeah. What a... Yeah.
And it's just a small little moment, but I love that bothered Shoshanna as much as it bothered me.
Oh, it should bother everybody. That's just like a real selfish prick move by Hannah.
And it's Hannah. Take the whole piece of cake. You're going to eat it later.
God damn, man.
You're going to eat it later. Come on. Don't pretend.
Get a to-go plate.
Don't pretend. It's like when it's like when cake gets passed around at certain things, they have them on a plate. And they're like, "Anybody want some?" And everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know." And they're looking around, trying to be coy about it. It's just like, no, just take it. Just sit in front
Hannah
of you.
Hannah takes like a fingerful of icing from the cake.
Yeah.
Like a real slob, dude. Gross.
Yeah. And it's weird because that scene was just for that moment. Like it had really nothing else to do.
Yeah.
You could have cut that out. It wouldn't have mattered, but they left it in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's it. That's the episode. That is Daddy Issues. We'll get some answers hopefully next one. Probably not. Don't know what's going on here. The next episode is titled Home Birth. Caroline, Adam's sister.
Yeah.
Laird's baby.
I was like, who is pregnant? And there.
Me too. I was like, wait a minute. Who's pregnant?
Man, it feels like
Caroline.
It feels like it's been longer than 9 months. Right?
You're right, it does.
Like, she was pregnant before Hannah left to go to Iowa.
Yeah.
This is like an 18-month pregnancy or something.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's who it's going to be. If I'm wrong on this, dude, I don't know how I could be wrong on this.
And his mom gives birth.
Yeah, I was like,
what are you going to do, Dad? Are you going to raise it now?
Yeah, is fucking Marnie pregnant already? And we fast forward 9 months. Now, this has definitely got to be Caroline. This has to be.
The combination of it, someone being pregnant and the term home birth, which is definitely what they would have.
Yeah.
It has to be.
This, dude, if this isn't Caroline, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed, Vance.
Yeah, if someone's just pretending to be a doula and just like, and it's just Jessa giving someone else a home birth somewhere, it will be so... Yeah. Okay. And I'll be mad because we don't get Laird.
Yeah, Laird's the man. Laird's awesome. Do you think Hannah's going to be like the godmother?
I could see that being something she'd do just to piss off Adam.
Yeah. This is going to bring Hannah and Adam back together, maybe.
Yeah, it's in the building. She'll have to. Well, why would? Yeah, they live downstairs, so Adam would be there or get called possibly. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's hoping that prediction. If that prediction's wrong, I don't know what the fuck's going on with the show anymore, everybody. All right. So stay tuned for next time for Home Birth. See you guys.
Adam, would you fry up some sausages?
Sure, I'll fry up some sausages. Everybody here like sausages?